gentlemen, and welcome back to Humanity Never Dies. In the last episode, we began with the team being called to a council mission to take out a VIP. After finding their positions on the map, we attacked in full force, taking out the enemy with surgical precision and with no damage taken. Once returned to the Avenger, we attempted to make a strike on a chosen stronghold, but wounds and low willpower meant that we had to wait for recoveries, which only ended with us having to deal with a guerrilla operation instead. We decided to take a team of less skilled individuals, which started off very well after taking out a sectoid and gatekeeper in one round, but the appearance of a chosen signalled a very bad turn. On top of many Advent priests, mind control, stasis, and general poor decisions led to the deaths of 2 operatives. Although we succeeded, it was at a great cost. Once back on the ship, we uncovered the secret of the Black Site Vial, which led us to a facility which we need to assail before we can take on the Chosen. We begin our assault on the facility in an elevated position, which is always really nice, as it allows us to get a good view on the enemies as well as those bonus to aim. However, we do appear to be out of range of that cover that is on the edge, so we're going to have to run and gun with our first operative. Going to send Kilby up ahead, see if he can spot any enemies, and he does spot a heavy turret up there, but no enemies, which is going to allow the rest of our troops to just go around and get themselves into positions. Going to get McEwen up. She also doesn't spot anyone else, so it's relatively safe for the moment. We are in complete concealment, so it's not too bad. So we can just dash, basically impervious from any enemy fire without too much of a trouble. We've brought effectively an A team with us. I mean, we've got Lau, we've got Far Logo, we've got Kilby, we've got McEwen. So that's basically the A team. Vimo has been instrumental in the past few missions, so he's definitely worthy of the A team. And he's going to show that here. Grappling up on top of the building, which will give him a lovely elevated position and the potential to have more view on the enemies, of which there are none apparently, so that's all good. This is a facility, so the enemies are going to be quite far apart. This map is rather large, so it's not too surprising we haven't spotted anyone yet, but we are definitely going to make the most use of everything to try and see if we can spot any enemies, which we do in the form of another Advent turret. So Vimo is going to spot ahead, see he doesn't see anyone interesting, so he's just going to go back to allow for our other officers, or operatives I should say, to get into a better position. Lau and McEwen kind of need to swap places at the moment, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move McEwen up using her Wraith suit Scrapple to go up, get herself into a nice raised position for later down the line, and she's actually going to then move up to the side, which is a very nice position to be, and then go into Overwatch as we just move our operatives around into better positions, such as Lau over there, to take out the Advent turret. Kilby is going to go down towards this building. I don't know if he's going to open the door just yet. No, he is definitely going to do that. Doesn't spot any more enemies, or any enemies at all. I guess Advent turrets are technically more. Grey's going to go around the side here. She's also... oh, she's have enough action points to open the door, so not going to do that. And Farlogo is going to go around the side here. We see some Advent here. We've got a priest and a trooper. So just 2 people on their own. Apparently some deathly silence in the process. So potential targets. There's a lot of things that we kind of need to deal with at once. Gonna get Kilby to go up the side.
On my way.
Doesn't get spotted by anything, goes into Overwatch. Grey's gonna go around the side over here as well. Or not. Or at least not yet. Farlogo's gonna get herself into position here. It is flanked positioning, but that's just because of the turret, which is going to be taken out relatively soon. We're going to start then with a shot at the turret from Lau, which is going to shred that, deal 11 damage, not quite dead. Still got 1 HP left. We've got to a point now where the turrets have more health than our shots. That's commander difficulty there, can't really expect more. And we've got another turret here. So we've got 4 enemies in total who've been triggered, 2 of which are mobile enemies. Or stationary enemies. We're going to get to a position where we can get a flanking shot with Grey, which is exactly what we're going to do. Kind of risky to go through the building in case there were more enemies, but in this case there weren't, and we get a beautiful Hunter's Instinct Talon Rounds critical shot around the side. So very low health from the priest there, which means that McEwen's got a lovely shot with her lightning hands, killing the priest instantly with that, and also allowing her to then get a shot onto the enemy 100% with the sniper rifle. Probably could have gone for a Deadeye, because this is only going to deal a little, yeah, not enough damage to kill him. Deadeye probably would have done, I don't know if it would have increased it. Either way, Vemo's going to go around the side then. He's got a potential then going to be using Whiplash on the Super Heavy turret, which does 12 damage in total, and then he's got the potential of either throwing an EMP bomb at the enemy or Justice at the trooper, which I think is what he's going to go and do. Don't know if that's the best option. We kind of have two turrets awake and around, so this could be bad in the full time, but we managed to take out both the priest and the trooper, so that's good. At the end of the turn though, we appear another Chosen. This time it looks like the assassin's going to be there to prevent us from doing our mission. But we've got the 18. So, immune to melee damage, summon Advent Chargers, brutal attacks, and Soul Stealer. It's going to be a difficult challenge. The assassin is pretty strong, although she doesn't have as many strengths as the warlock, or at least her strengths aren't as good as the warlock's, that's for sure. Especially, as I said before, we've got the 18, so it shouldn't be too bad. Farlogo using her Overwatch to take out that turret, the other turret shooting at McEwen and missing, so lucky in that aspect because we don't have to deal with that, and for the moment we're all good there. Kirby's going to use the extremity of his movement in concealed mode to go as far as possible, see if he can spot any further enemies, but he does not, which allows the rest of them to go around. We're going to use a slash against the Y against the turret. It's interesting. Does manage to kill it actually with the Blade Master, doing a total of 10 damage. And that actually does spot an enemy. We've got a Sectopod, so that probably wasn't the best thing to do. Although it is a solo Sectopod, to be fair. But yeah, not amazing. So we're just going to have to go around there. We've got Farlow go around the side. No enemies currently there. Gonna just run and gun with Farlow go, very interesting. Probably not a very good position in general though. Still can't see the enemy, so she's just going to go into Overwatch. Man, Whiplash would have been really good against the Sectopod, to be fair. Vemo going to go there and going to go into Overwatch as well. McEwen not in the best. Well, she's in a pretty good position should the Sectopod rear his head around that area. Potential blaster bomb being used there, maybe? Lau's also not in a very good position. The fact of it remains, we've extended our line way too far compared to what we should have done, and that may cause some problems. And the problems is that the Sectopod's going to get a whole turn where you can shoot at all our dudes, and the Sectopod can get 3 turns in a turn, or 3 actions in a turn, which is not going to be great. So we're going to see what he does. He moves up, explodes a bunch of stuff, gets shot 10 damage, goes up, breaks some more of the building, shoots a Grey, but she's untouchable because she's just killed something, so that's a waste of 1 attack, and then starts up the Wrath Cannon. So overall, pretty lucky, I'm going to go with. We then get the Chosen action. She gets revealed because she is spotted by Kilby, although then she uses her stealth. So very lucky when it comes to the Sectopod, because he's got himself into a position where he's not done us any damage. We're going to get Grey very much out of there because we do not want to have that as a problem. She does, however, spot the Chosen in that time, with a 74% chance on her flank to be able to do that, but we're going to deal with the Sectopod first because that's the main problem here. We can probably take it out with Fire Logo and Lau, and probably Grey if we need to. For now, 91% chance, dual strike potential, and that's exactly what we're going to go for. Please use dual strike. Dual strike, very strong. Oh, but dual strike is the Bond 3 ability where the enemy gets shot at by both Bond mates. So Lau shoots and then McEwen shoots after, absolutely destroying this, leaving him on 1 HP. So Farlogo definitely will be able to take her out, although yeah, it's not really worth shooting with McEwen, because McEwen would be able to take him out with, or use her other thing, what's it called, sniper rifle on the Chosen, which is exactly what she's going to do. The building gets absolutely destroyed. This sector pod just absolutely wrecked this building. Going to use the grapple with Vemo so that he can get higher up on the other side. Doesn't get any shots on the Chosen from where he is, although he is going to try and go down, I think. Might be able to get some shots from there. No, he doesn't. Very short range weapons, that bullpup, but very good weapon. Having been done, got a lovely flanking shot with Grey. 74%, sadly it misses, but it was a good attempt. Like we had to take that shot regardless. For whatever reason, McEwen no longer has vision on the Chosen. No idea why. The sectopod must have exploded some debris and caused some smoke to go in the way. Although using the grapple, which doesn't count as movement, she can use her Deadeye then. 69% chance to hit. And she does, shredding both the armor and also dealing 10 damage. So a very good shot from McEwen there. And the Chosen is not in a good position, to be fair, because we're going to be able to get all of our operatives in range. Kilby running and gunning and accelerating forwards. He's got a beautiful shot, 91% chance, which he is going to take with his storm gun, dealing a critical 16 damage with Hunter's Instincts and causing her to burn. So Chosen not really having the best time at the moment, although we do spot more enemies. We've got an Andromedon and a sectoid as well. Andromedon just running through that terrain there. So we do have enemies around, although they don't get their turn. And then we get a harbour wave from the Chosen against Kilby. She fires it off. Lucky for us. Oh, well, I guess not. Lucky for us if we missed, but no, Kilby does get dazed by it, which means we're going to have to send someone to save him up. Although the Chosen not in a lot of health to do that. So we put Lau forward. She's got a blaster bomb, which is exactly what she's going to use. Now the blaster bomb is insane. It's a callback to the original Xcom games back from the 90s or 80s or whenever the Xcom games were made. I think it was the 90s. It's a big ball of energy that does a hell of a lot of damage and can just fire off anywhere. But yeah, fires off, deals a ton of damage, blows up all the terrain in the general area. It's such a fun weapon. I love it. I really, really love it. It's overpowered as hell in both the old XCOM and this one. It's not overpowered. If it was overpowered, it would be killing everything. It only does 8 damage, but it shreds all the armor, which is insane. So we move Grey up, we revive Kilby to avoid us having a problem with another Chosen taking information from us, which we obviously do not want in the slightest. Revival protocol being used by Farlogo, and this is something that I did not show because I don't show the equipments of all my teams just because it'll take too long. We've actually run out of medkits. I'm not entirely sure where they've gone. I think when Ashens or I'm not sure where it went. I thought if one of them had died with medkit on them, then they would have lost that medkit, but I just don't know where it's gone. So we currently do not have any medkits available, which is why I really want to face off against some Vipers. Beautiful shot from McEwen there, taking out the sectoid. But yeah, so we've run out of medkits, which is not great. So Farlogo only has 1 healing potential and 1 revival, which he's just used on Kilby in that aspect. Kilby's going to go and flank around. He's got a beautiful shot, and he also sees the facility with a nice cinematic view of the Andromedon there, as well as the facility in its iridescent white. Regardless, he's been flanked. 84% chance to shoot and hit the Chosen, which he does, dealing 16 damage to her. Absolute incredible damage with Hunter's Instincts. And that gets rid of the Chosen, which means we don't have to worry about her. I feel like she was very underwhelming in this battle, although she did manage to daze Kilby. Kilby actually ranking up in that with that shot, so that was good. Got rid of that. What it's looking like is that when we eventually go and attack the Chosen facilities with this team, they're not going to be able to withstand us. And that's exactly what we want, so that's all good. A shot from Kilby there, 13 damage with Hunter's Instincts. Doesn't quite manage to kill the Andromedon, but does a lot of damage, so not going to be annoyed at that. Vemo's going to go into Overwatch, and McEwen's going to move up although she's not going to have a chance to Overwatch. The Andromedon's going to disappear, just out of nowhere. He's going to retreat away. Retreating over in that corner. Does actually jump over that train rather than running through it, which is very unusual for an Andromedon. And his escape allows us to then focus on our advance. So we're going to dash up Lau and most likely Fire Logo in just a moment. But with the rest of the team, we're going to go around to see if we can spot any of the enemies, as well as take them down as much as we can. Sadly, the blaster bomb did take out all the train in that area, so it doesn't allow any of our troops to move up too far forward. And in moving up forward, we see that there are more enemies. Group of 3. We've got the Andromedon, a Archon, a heavy mech, and a stun lancer. So not great. Grey's not really in the best position. She shoots once, dealing 15 damage to the Archon with the Talon rounds. These weapons just doing horrendous amount of damage at the moment. Farlogo has been left behind pretty badly, although she has done work already, dealing quite a bit of damage to the sector pods, so it's not too bad. Vima's going to go down over here because it gives him range on the enemies where he is. Also, just going to see if he can fire an EMP bomb, but he can't. So he's just going to take the 74% damage. Oh, it probably isn't actually. 59 on the Archon's probably better. Mostly because the Archon doesn't have any armor. Misses but deals 3 damage thanks to the hair trigger, so that's good. McEwen's got some very lovely shots, but she's not going to take any of them yet. Kilby not really in a great position for anything. He's kind of stuck out there. I decided to use Wraith just because I think it might give me a bonus, but it might not be worth it, so a slash may be worth it, and actually it's probably amazingly worth it, especially to kill the Archon, but it would put me out into the open. So I'm just having a look what I can do if I've got Untouchable, which I don't think he does because he's just become Major, so I don't know whether or not it's a good idea to do that, and after checking that probably isn't. Wraith doesn't actually give me any bonuses at all, so for now he's just going to go and maybe do a dash up. What am I going to do with Kilby? Gonna go here first. Oh, I'm gonna grapple up. Oh, that is next level play right there. So grappling up to get behind the enemy. We luckily don't spot any additional enemies, which probably would have been a very big possibility. Potential to kill out the Andromedon or the Archon. Definitely killing the Archon would be a good start, so that's exactly what we're going to do, dealing 13 critical damage from the side. So that's an Archon down. 100% chance to hit the Stun Lancer. Or actually 100% chance to hit all of these. We're going to go for the Deadeye, I think. Wow, we actually missed. Missed the Andromedon. That's awful. So Andromedon's going to go around the side. Going to see what he does. He's going to try and shoot at Kilby. Actually does hit, but another dodge from Kilby. Kilby's just got such a high dodge value at this point. It's crazy. Blade Master from the what's it called? A strike from Grey. Can't remember what it's called. Does get a hit from behind, deal 10 damage from behind us, which isn't great. And then the mech is going to go around the side. Also going to shoot at Grey. Oh, he's going to shoot a grenade, which shreds her armor, only dealing 2 damage though. The Grey is definitely not looking great at the moment. She has been completely flanked, and that's not what we want. 85% chance to hit. The Stun Lancer does manage to hit and take him down, so that's a threat gone. 2 enemies left. Got to reload with Kilby, who's going to go for the Andromedon, I think. He's going to have to. Oh, he's not going to go for anything. That's fair enough. Grey's going to go around the side, pick up the loot, which is quite a bit of loot actually. Quite a bit of loot indeed. No additional actions there though. We could run and gun with Fire Logo, which is exactly what we're going to do, and get ourselves into a position where we can shoot the enemy. Would be pretty good. Which is exactly what we're going to do as well. We're going to go up to get an elevation angle on the enemy as well. 100% chance to hit because of that. And because she's got AP round, just goes straight through the armor. 9 damage. Vemo's got a 92% chance. Going to shoot that. Vemo luckily gets 0 in, and does manage to take him out. I feel like Vemo should have been given AP rounds or some kind of stuff to deal with it. I decided not to go for a shot with McEwen because obviously the Andromedon is going to become a wreck in just a moment. I decided to take out the Andromedon wreck with both McEwen and Grey. Grey shooting it down, dealing 8 damage only, but McEwen should be able to take him out. Gonna see if a Deadeye is gonna be enough. Yeah, 98% chance to guarantee the kill. Hits it with a critical for 19, so a bit over the top there, but definitely what we need to do. So she's gonna reload, and we've got advanced teamwork potential, but that's not really gonna be useful, so we're just going to go into Overwatch. No other enemies have been sighted for now, so it's just going to be the case of moving up all of our troops so that they are next to the facility. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing. Going to be moving up, reloading all of our troops. I think I'm just going to cut to the point where they're just in front of the facility. Now in front of the facility, we've got the just alien activity end of the turn there, and then we're going to move up into it. Get ourselves a nice little cutscene.
Yes, and judging by the subject's condition, I would say it was recently manufactured. No wonder they just keep coming.
So that little cutscene out of the way, we can see our objective has now been shown to us, visualized. I don't even know where I was going with that sentence. But anyway, let's continue our strife forwards. So we've got to move closer into the facility. I'm going to get the rest of the team to just move around, get into positions, try and spot if there's enemies around. I'm not going to dash in because I don't want to spot any enemies without being ready to take them out, although we are pretty lucky in the sense that there are no enemies currently. So all that's good. Just going to move our guys around and wait for the aliens to take their turn, which are existence, and they are over there. Nothing else happening on the alien turn, so we can just move all of our troops around the side. So now's going to take position over there, and the rest of the enemies not really existence. I kind of want to fire off a grenade just to open it up the whole area, but I decide against it. I don't know whether or not I should have gone for it in the end. I feel like it would have been really fun to do so. We are going to go for a run and gun. Probably, it's not really a waste of it because we're using it to get sight, make sure that we can move all of our troops around without causing the enemies to appear. So we're going to see what we can do with that. Farlogo is going to go around the side. No additional enemies, and then Vimo's going to dash up as well. Try and get a dash around that corner. Man, moving the camera really helpful to avoid those sticky situations where you're not entirely sure where you're going to land. And everyone else is on Overwatch. We can see there's enemies there. Definitely on that side. So we're going to move around. With Kilby going to take the window just to see where the enemies are. Spots the package, but doesn't spot any enemies. So at this point, I'm thinking where they could be. They're probably on the other side of the wall, which could be a bit of an issue. Going to move up with Farlogo, see if we can spot any enemies. But there's no additional windows over there, so probably not too bad. Vema's going to go up this end. And McEwen's going to move up on the outside. I'm looking up to see where I can get on the roof. If there's some windows I can go up and around. End up going around this side here. Don't spot any enemies when I do so. There are 2 floors of this though. I'm going to go around the side over here. And then Lau is going to dash up to that hardcover over there. So at this point I'm thinking, okay, there's likely some enemies on the other side of the wall, or there's enemies on top of the roof, which is definitely a potential. But the first thing we're going to do is open the tube, see that there are some reinforcements coming in, but also a cutscene. The audio on these cutscenes is completely off. It's not just you. Like the audio, the atmospheric audio is much louder than the audio of the narrative people speaking. Anyway, Fowler is going to take the specimen and then going to get into cover. We know where the reinforcements are coming from so that can prepare ourselves for them. Can open some doors. We're going to see if we can spot as many enemies as possible in the process. Don't see anyone there. McEwen's going to go around the side. I'm 100% sure there's enemies there. And lo and behold, as we go around the side, there's a whole lot of enemies there. So this could get disastrous. For whatever reason, the officer goes down, probably is super surprised. We get a blade storm around the side, people get shot, people get slashed. McEwen's got a lightning hands which he's going to use on the trooper for whatever reason. Probably should have used it on the mech, considering the mech's in Overwatch. Lau is going to move up, she's going to get overwatched. Oh my gosh, she's going to get overwatched, that was so silly. Luckily misses. But now that she's there, there's only one thing for it. She's going to just... Oh, she's just going to do that. Alright, interesting. I know what's about to happen, so that's why this is my motion move 1. I feel like a advanced teamwork and then a massive explosion is going to occur, which probably would have been better to have done regardless, although I guess it may have left the mech alive. But I'm going to position this in such a way that it's not going to hit McEwen or any of her cover, and it's just going to create 2 massive holes in the roof for these guys to fall into. I feel like, yeah, it was not necessary to shoot at the mech, but pretty damn fun. So yeah, don't put your troops on the roof. There is still a officer there, by the way. 100% chance to hit with Grey. There we go. With Hunter's Instincts and Tannin rounds at 16 critical damage. Good fun. So, reinforcements coming down now. We're going to see what looks like another mech, a shield bearer and a trooper. So, basic enemies for now. Nothing too difficult, nothing too tough. We've barely taken any damage overall. The only person who's really taken damage is Grey. We haven't actually healed her, I don't think. I don't know whether or not Farlogo can, because she doesn't have a medkit. We get a really terrible Overwatch fire there from Kilby. But get some nice movement around. So the issue with having broken the roof is that we don't get really good positioning in general. So what we're going to have to do is figure that out. We can use a grapple to get up around the side. I think we are actually going to use that. Man, tearing a hole in the roof gives us so many additional movement options, it's crazy. Now the grapple being a free action is amazing because it means that Kilby can just go around there, down there, spot all the enemies and also get a lovely flanking position on some of them, which is exactly what he's going to do. 100% chance to hit the heavy mech as well as shred down its armour, doing so nicely. No critical for flanking or anything, which is unlucky considering the high ability, the high percentage chance of that happening. That's what I want to do. I think I must have healed Grey in the interim actually when I skipped over some movement because she is back to full health, or not full health but basically full health. Blowing a hole in the wall there, shredding more armour. Farlogo is really not in a great position at the point, mostly because Farlogo is carrying the corpse. Not a corpse, it's a specimen, definitely not a corpse. She's also kind of in the way for Vemo, but Vemo's going to be able to go around. Still gets a lovely shot at the enemy. Is that 82% chance? Does manage to hit for 6 damage. Not quite enough to kill, but enough for me. And then McEwen's going to go down around the side of the building with her grappling. And then she can move here to the side there, gives her full cover as well as full potential to fire with her pistols, which is exactly what she's going to be doing with a face-off, being able to fire at every single enemy there, killing the mech, shooting and critting the shield bearer, and shooting and just dealing 5 damage to the normal trooper, but dealing a load of damage overall, allowing for Lau to move up there. She might be able to use her grenade launcher at this stage, which she does indeed, which is going to be more than enough to kill these guys with a single explosion. So killing them all up, no loot lost, so that's good. So it looks like that was perfectly executed. I'd like to say so myself. I don't like. I feel like the mission where I lost 2 troopers, the mission with the Warlock, the mission with basically the B team, really meant that I've been trying harder with my missions, especially with this facility mission. It's kind of like, oh, I need to not lose operatives that easily. I need to prepare a bit more for battles, and I feel like the A team is more or less perfect in its outsource. The fact that we've got a skirmisher and 2 rangers, the fact that we've got then a sniper, a heavy, and a specialist, it's just really, really nice. So we've got more reinforcements coming in. We're going to go around and dash as many people up as we can. We're going to go Wraith as well, so that McEwen can get as far possible, just rushing through that terrain. I don't think it was needed to do Wraith actually in that position, but that's exactly what we're going to be doing, so that we can get our guys up ahead and we can get them into Overwatch to strike at the reinforcing individuals coming at us. So everyone going into Overwatch. Kilby's also going to go around the side and go into Overwatch as we wait to see what's a-coming. As more reinforcements fall down. Looks like we have a Purifier, but what else? Another mech, Purifier, and a Advent Trooper. They're not going to fare too well against us, as we're going to open fire with our Overwatching.
They're trying to flank us.
Pew pew. Big shots there. Oh, shot from Kilby actually doing some big damage. I think that hit Kilby. I think we've also killed off the Advent Trooper in that. So a lot of damage happening. That's the issue with Purifiers, is that they tend to explode. Lao absolutely destroying that mech, so that opens everything up for us, and because it's going to take another turn for reinforcements to come through, we probably are pretty safe for us to go there and just send the entirety of the gang up and ahead, although Lao is now quite far behind. We're going to send Farlogo along with the specimen, which is going to, or the prototype as it turns out. That's going to complete the mission for us, so that's all good. So what we need to do now is extract the rest of our soldiers, and hopefully we can do that without too much trouble, although at this point is very much not a spoiler for me to tell you that it happens with no trouble whatsoever. We've got advanced teamwork available from McEwen, which we are going to use to get Lao out there so that she can fire off. She's just going to go out in the open. No danger whatsoever from any enemies, so that's all good. And then McEwen's going to go and escape with no problems at all. The end of the turn, no additional reinforcements show up, so we just go in, evac. Overall, pretty flawless mission. We lost a few damage here and there. One from the from the end with the Purifier, and also whatever Grey got shot by, which I forgot already. Oh, and we had the Kilby actually lost some damage from the dodging Andromedon. But anyway, successful mission. As we return to the Avenger, we have 1 level up, I believe, from Kilby. Goes up to Major. The rest of the troops doing pretty good, but no upgrades. We're going to go with Untouchable, which is very strong, and then we're going to chill out. Get ourselves another piece of research as well as a bunch of supplies, so that's all good for us. Also, for whatever reason, get Fear of Vipers for Grey. Not entirely sure why that's the case, but gonna deal with that. Get some projects that we can do. Can't build another Spike, can't build any Spark, any RAF suits, Wraith suits, War suits, any suits. I've got a potential of building experimental armor, but I think what I'm going to do is actually go for and build the Frostbomb, Shadowkeeper, Hunter's Axe, and Boltcaster, because we've not done those in quite a while. It is kind of a... it's not quite a sort of dumping of supplies. They are very strong weapons, and we are going to be using them in the future, but I feel like it's nicer when you get them from the mission. Hey. Reducing the Avatar project by 2, making it the lowest that it's been in a very long time, as well as assorted loot and supplies available. So overall, a pretty good start to this episode, and mission complete.
Commander, the team have returned from the facility and, well, they found another one of those suits. You know, like the one you were found in? Dr. Tegan and Shen are currently looking into it, but you should definitely have a look too. Also, progress update from Dr. Barnes regarding the psionics. It looks like the operative is becoming more and more adept each day and with no side effects at all. Now, I'm not sure how much we can trust these reports myself, but as long as you keep that guy on the other end of the ship, that's fine by me.
Now that we're back at the adventure, we can continue our day-to-day tasks. So what do those include? Well, 2 days we complete the Codex Brain research and the bolt, then all of these proving grounds that I've just started, 20 days until a supply drop. The Psi operation training continues, so there's a lot of things that continues, but first and foremost, really, is the Codex Brain, which is obviously going to have its own little cutscene.
Commander, we're making progress piecing this thing back together, but it hasn't been pretty.
Our soldiers completely disabled this unit in the field. What we're hearing is merely a byproduct of electrical impulses. I assure you, it is well past the point of feeling pain.
I'll take your word for it, Doctor.
I'm sending you a new sequence now.
These are coordinates. Return coordinates. Think we've got a point of origin. Well, part of one.
Something else. Something underneath. One more. The unit is attempting to block further access.
That's not all it's doing. I'm losing the data we've already decrypted.
Almost there. Just one more adjustment.
Forget the data. It's accessing the power core. Overriding my safety. Increasing power levels to try and sever the connection.
There. Some sort of fail-safe protocol, I imagine. The Codex must have intentionally overloaded the interface to prevent any further theft of information. Still, I believe I was one step ahead of it.
That's an enormous amount of data.
Yes, and I expect it may take some time to decipher.
Better get started. I don't think we're gonna be able to do that again.
I'll proceed with the necessary research and preparation. With your approval, of course, Commander. I'd also suggest we look into those coordinates.
That's if I can reconstruct the data we lost in the transfer. I just hope it was worth it.
There's been a lot on that shadow chamber. Very rude of it to explode. But yeah, we completed the Codex Brain, so what we need to do now, the mission is to use a skulljack on a Codex, so not too bad. We are going to go for the intel, because the intel is very strong, and then we're going to just continue on with our general day-to-day activities. We need to have our troops back up to full so that we can take out a chosen. That is what I need to go for. So actually we've got the Codex coordinates first. When do we skulljack a Codex? That's an interesting one. We definitely skulljack a Codex at some point. Complete the Boltcaster. Get some alien alloys. We actually get 56, which is the most that we've had in a very long time. We've actually got plenty of everything, supplies and everything, so that's good. Not entirely sure why I just clicked on there. Wasn't really looking. I think that's assorted loot, so yeah, that's not terrible. We are going to look around in engineering to see what we can build. Still no medkits, although we can build a bunch of stuff, such as the psi amps, the spark upgrades, and plasma boltcaster, which is definitely something we probably want to get. Yeah, there's a bunch of potential upgrades which we can get. Oh, the skirmisher doesn't yet have the Cal 90. Oof. Those do cost a lot of supplies, though, 125 supplies. It is super worth it. It is a very strong weapon, and when I start using it, you'll see, because it's a good one. It's like a shotgun / sniper. It's great. Sonic training complete with Engen. We can get Soul Steel, which is very, very good. God, there are a lot of very powerful psyop things. It's just getting to the stage where you've got an operative that can use them, so that's good. Complete the intel, so next we're going to go for a autopsy.
I have always been particularly fascinated with this species, ever since the first time I spotted one during my travels. Although I had seen the biomechanical horrors deployed by the aliens during the initial invasion, these creatures appear to be something else entirely. Possessing a certain flair, not typically found amongst the aliens, I found this creature to be of great intelligence, masked by the incredible hold of the Elders.
Brief notes from Dr. Varlin there, who I miss dearly. But yeah, it's going to just take us one day to do that, so it's going to be a very quick little commentary from me as we continue doing that, and then eventually just complete the Archon King, which gives us access to the Archon suit, or the Icarus armor. And then what we're going to do is the next autopsy on our list, which is the Berserker one, which is definitely useful.
This fearsome creature, long referred to as a Berserker, is clearly a genetic relation to the other mutant species we have encountered in the field. For reasons yet unknown, this particular variant is unique in that it is altogether consumed by what can only be described as blind rage, a thirst for combat, unlike any other creature we've encountered.
So the Berserker on its way then, 2 days before we get that. We're almost about to have completed the... Oh, we can do that research there. I guess we can do the stasis suit. I don't know what the hell the game's trying to do at this point. I thought for whatever reason we had to do the Berserker. Either way, that's going in the background as well. Complete our covert op, get a promotion for Scott. Get ourselves a bunch of stuff. I didn't actually see what they were doing. I think it was assorted loot that they were going for. But we have a bunch of new things that we can get, including Rescue Soldier, which may actually be something we want to do rather than gain resistance contact or recover some loot. Get our sergeant back. It's not doesn't deserve it. Gives us an extra aim. What are we doing? So we're going to be sending Xiaolong and Toshiba. So not terrible, but there we go. So we're going to get Matt Van der Vault back at some point in the near future, and then we've got upgrades with Scott. He's going to get promoted up to Lieutenant. We're going to give him the Field Medic upgrade. Probably, yeah, scanning protocol doesn't seem very good. When I used it with Mises earlier, and it just, I say earlier, like last episode, it felt like it didn't do very good because they only spotted a few moments in front. Smith also getting bonded there with Scott. So Smith and Scott, that sounds like a police show. Smith and Scott. Anyway, we actually get a retaliation event here, so we're going to have to deal with that. No, we got some chrysalids then, a sectopod, but no vipers, so still got viperless, which is a bit of an annoyance, because we really need them to get our nano medkits back, which I kind of want before we face the Chosen. The team we're going to be taking on this retaliation mission are Chen, Floyd, Ahmed, Fang, Fuentes, and Whites, which is more or less 18.2. They've got a lot of good weapons and have got a lot of good abilities, and I'm sure that they'll be able to manage to successfully retaliate against the retaliation.
We're heading in to lock down the area. Neutralize all hostile contacts with extreme prejudice. Menace 1-5, hostile forces are attacking the outpost. Eliminate all enemy units and protect those civilians. Advent came in hot and so did we. You won't have a concealed position for deployment on this one.
So we start with our Reaper, just going to go up on top of the roof, try and get as much vision as possible on the retaliation mission. This is just a standard one where we have to rescue civilians. I don't think there's any resistance hubs, so it is just go and get as many civilians as possible. We appear to be on the bottom left, bottom right hand side of the map, I should say. So that's nice. Don't see any enemies currently, although we do not have any kind of stealth other than our Reaper. So for now we're just going to run a gun, make sure that we can position ourselves to attack the enemies and not get spotted, or if we do get spotted, then we can shoot as many of them as possible. So I'm just looking to see at the size of the map. It looks like it actually goes left to right, so we are actually at the bottom left of the map rather than the bottom right, because I'm going to turn it around. Fuentes going around here doesn't actually spot any enemies, so that's always nice. It means we can more or less move up, although that said, Floyd hasn't spotted anyone, so that's probably more indicative of if there's any enemies around. So what we're going to do is we're just going to move up in formation. We've taken 2 heavies on this mission, which is probably a very good idea considering there is a sector pod. We are going to grapple up with Ahmed, our resident sniper. She's going to get up there. She's going to do some good work from up there, that's for sure. Look at that height. Is going to go into Overwatch and not move up to a position where she doesn't have any vision though, although we do actually see a chrysalid burrow underneath the ground here, and another one, as well as a bunch of civilians around that place. 3 chrysalids in total. That's not good. Sector pods over there, he's going to fire, taking 10 damage against the enemy, against our own civilians. So that's 1 down already. And then we get a chrysalid going up. For whatever reason, it gets activated. Not 100% sure what's occurring here and why they've got activated. That was really strange. That was really strange. In any case, the chrysalid gets shot by Ahmed with the pistol, who shoots again with his pistol, with her pistol, sorry, and then get a sniper rifle shot, 95% chance, shooting it in the crotch for the death blow. That allows Floyd to go around the side. He's going to see if he's got any more vision on any enemies. No vision currently. Just going to continue forward. Fang is going to rush up. She probably does need to dash, to be fair, to get to that position. We need to stay together. Retaliation missions are basically super dangerous if we split ourselves apart, as I'm sure at this point you guys, if you've been watching this far along the series, will know. But we've got a good enough squad. White does need to level up a bit more, maybe, as does Fuentes, although Fuentes we've seen has done excessive amount of damage in previous episodes, so he's definitely nothing to be trifled with. Although I would say the Templar is weaker than the Skirmisher and the Reaper, although I feel like Skirmisher is just beyond when it comes to damage dealing. I feel like the Templar doesn't really have that kind of really good aspect of damage dealing. You can see an officer shooting at another civilian over there, so we've lost 2 civilians. We've not really spotted anyone though, which is a bit of a shame, so we're just going to have to get Floyd to move up and view up the enemies in general, do a bit more scouting. I mean, that's what Floyd is there for, and that's where the Reapers really excel, is in using their line of sights and their abilities to tag all the enemies. We can see we've tagged the alien scouting party, as they've just been called, but we've got a beautiful claymore positioning there, which we are definitely going to need to fire at. That claymore is such a great ability. So what we're going to use is Ahmed to deal damage to that. Sadly, doesn't actually get the ability to use it because she's going to have to wait a whole turn. And we know what happens when you have to wait a whole turn to do something. Ahmed does have teamwork though, so I guess I could potentially have used that teamwork. Does spot an enemy with Fang, which just gets absolutely just destroyed. Did you see that? That was just like, oh, enemy, bang, dead. A good one-shot, one-kill there from Fang with her plasma shotgun. White goes around the side, as does Chen. So we actually managed to get that civilian to safety, so that's good. Going into Overwatch, and then Fuentes is going to move up as well, going into Overwatch.
I'll maintain my watch.
Going to see what we can do with the enemies. We can actually get more chrysalids. It appears that this is a very chrysalid heavy map, so that's both good and bad. Good because they're relatively weak, bad because they're very strong. Going to be able to kill it down. Missing it with the damage, however. Chen also missing it with 2 damage from that hair trigger. Well, they are all grouped together. The chrysalid over there just running off. Bye. There's a sector pod over there. Sector pod purifier mech over there. And yeah, so that claymore has basically become completely redundant because of that. It's very frustrating. And the remote start completely useless as well. So, gonna have to deal with that somehow. And the best way to do that is to launch a plasma grenade.
Get ready for a surprise!
Which hopefully will explode the truck as well. As we fire it off. No, but it shreds all the armor off those chrysalids as well as dealing general damage, so can't really complain with that. Got another plasma grenade that could be thrown off, which is exactly what's going to happen, which will probably not kill them, it'll probably leave them on like 1 HP. Yeah, it just leaves them like 1 and 3 HP, so another grenade will probably kill them. Oh, I should have used zone there. Yeah, if I had used the kill zone, they would have just moved and got shot at, and that would have been better. Oh well, can't always do anything. Ahmed, no, I'm not going to move her. I probably could have moved her. It would not have been the worst idea to do so. We're going to move around the side with Floyd. I'm going to try and spot as many enemies as possible with him. So far he's not actually dealt any damage, and that's not really the worst thing. He's got into a nice position, he's told us where the enemies are, so we can predict where they're going to go and how to react with them. Another great shotgun blast from Fang there, taking down another one of the enemy, and then a rend on that chrysalid. It's going to get Fuentes up to maximum psi energy. So he gets a bunch of focus, 3 in total, boosting him up in 1 turn, which is insane, and then goes into parry mode. So now we see Fuentes at the maximum of his potential, because that 3 focus is going to increase all of his attacks and unlock all his abilities. That sector pod is just killing things left, right and centre, and it's a real bug because gonna have to deal with it somehow. Although we have managed to take out all of the enemies we've come across so far. Well, actually that's not true at all, because we've still got 1 chrysalid that ran away, which is there, the officer and the trooper that's over there, and the sector pod mech, and I think it's a purifier that's over on the north side, so not totally taking control there. But regardless, we are going to not do anything with Floyd as of yet, although I feel like moving to get more vision is probably a good idea. What we are going to do is we're going to move Ahmed up on top of the roof over there so that she can get better shots. Oh no, she's not going to do that. I either do that or I don't do that. I feel like probably looking back wouldn't be a good idea to do that, but I may decide to do that in the future. But I feel like we can kite the enemy towards us just by going forward and triggering them. But there's no time limit really, other than the fact that the enemies like do kill our civilians. But we only need to rescue, well, now 3 more civilians. So it's not the worst, although we have already lost 4, so I guess it is kind of a time limit, the way in which it's going. The sector pod is kind of moving towards us, so as long as we continue to move towards it and go into Overwatch, we should be fine. Let's hope. So we're just going to go into Overwatch, that's completely fine. And then Floyd's going to move up, going to see if we can spot any additional enemies, which it doesn't look like we can. Ahmed's very much in cover there. Sector pod chrysalid burrows down below ground, which for whatever reason we don't count as being able to see. A shot from Ahmed at something but misses, and it looks like Floyd does have vision on the sector pod, so that has now been marked. I feel like having Floyd here was a really good decision on my part, using him as a scout. He's not done any damage, which is really irritating because it means he's not really going to get any way to level himself up, since you level up through kills. But I feel like him being there and the ability to mark the enemies is invaluable really for how we've played this mission, how we've managed to get up ahead, up to a position where we're not actually getting killed every turn, but we can move up. That said, we are moving closer and closer to the enemy and they are getting packed together, so we've just activated the officer and his trooper. Get a nice shot there from, well, I say nice shot, she missed, but you know, it was an Overwatch shot that was had. So we've got the potential to vault, although that's kind of pointless at this point. We are still going to use it apparently though. 5 damage, bit of a waste. Then what we're going to do with the rest of them, we can move up top of there. Got a plasma grenade that can be launched. Not really the best of positions to do that. 43% chance to hit, we are going to go for it. Dealing 1 damage, which is missed, as well as giving hollow sight targeting, so I guess that's always something. Gonna get a reload from Ahmed, and then she's going to see if she can go. 100% chance to hit the sector pod, which is definitely something we do want to hit, although we do not have shred with Ahmed, so maybe not. Instead we're going to shoot at and kill what I believe is the Advent Trooper. It is indeed. Then do I grapple? I don't know whether or not... I guess you can see the sector pod, so she doesn't really need to do anything. Got a sting potential which will do no damage to the sector pod due to the fact that the sector pod has 6 armor, which is excessive. Instead we're going to get Floyd to retreat slightly and just go into Overwatch for now. Chen's going to go around the side. He does have a blaster bomb, which is not a terrible thing to have, although he's just going to go into Overwatch. We see one of the civilians actually become a faceless. I'm not entirely sure what triggered it to become a faceless. Usually only when we're in like range they become faceless. I'm not sure what changed. I don't know what triggered that. Sector pod moves around. It's going to try and shoot at the civilian. Or unsuccessfully do so. I mean, oh no it doesn't. Oh, prove me wrong. I would have thought they'd be instant success there, but apparently not. Instead we see the officer Mark Fang, but no additional problems there, so that's always nice. Floyd's going to be able to do a sting, which is exactly what he's going to do, doing 5 damage to the officer and not being uncovered because it's a sting and sting doesn't reveal you. 100% chance to hit with Ahmed. He's going to shoot down definitely above, so we definitely killed him with a critical hit. Beautiful shot from there. She's doing amazing from that position. Like any sniper would do amazing from that position. There's no other way about it. Fan going around the side there. Doesn't spot any enemies. Just going to go into a watch. We know the sector pod is coming, so that's really what we've got to prepare for. I kind of want to move Chen up, but also this fire in red. I particularly want to set him on fire. Chrysalid does come out. I did actually forget that Chrysalid was there, although a Overwatch shots, Blade Storm, got a nice focus rend. If I hadn't used that, I probably would have killed that. That actually does damage him pretty bad with Chrysalid poison. Got another rend on the Chrysalid. For a total of... If I hadn't used that that Vault attack, he would have had 3 and probably would have killed that Chrysalid with that Blade Storm. However, if that's the case, then the guy wouldn't be dead, so I'm not entirely sure how we could have prevented that, especially with the Chrysalid poison. We also don't have any medics on the field, so that's also not something good. We can hear the sector pod moving around. He seems to have buggered off. We're going to try and shoot that civilian. Actually does manage to kill it that time. And the faceless is going to move around. Gets a face full of beam cannon as he continues to run. Gets a blade storm in, doing 9 damage. Beautiful, beautiful damage from everyone. So it's just a sector pod and his crew left. So we're going to get Floyd to go down there.
You don't belong here.
Now, for whatever reason, I did think that that would reveal him, but it doesn't. So that's always good. So that's exactly what he's going to do, is he's going to move around the side and get the other one.
You will never hide from me.
So we've only got 2 civilians left on the field, of which we need to save at least 1. We've lost 6 civilians, which is excessive. There's 3 civilians over there. There's potential to grapple with Fang, which is exactly what we're going to do. Well, no, we're going to run and gun, so we don't have to grapple. I've also got a random claymore, which I feel was completely wasted because I chose not to shoot at it. But yeah, we've got to move up and take out the sector pod, but I'm not entirely sure how we can go around doing that without triggering too many problems. But that's the only enemy on the field left. and we know where all the civilians are, so as long as Fang is there to protect them, that means that they'll activate the sector pod won't be targeting the civilians, and everyone will be happy dandy. The only other problem then is Ahmed being too far away to actually fire at the enemy, although from an elevated angle she may be okay. Although also maybe not. She's just going to go into watch for now. 2 damage being taken by Fuentes there, which isn't great. Sector pod comes around the back over here. And we get an Overwatch shot. So Ahmed definitely not too far. As we see 9 damage being done, but only 4 actual damage being done to the sector pod. I said earlier they had 6 armor, but he only has 5. I'm a silly goose. Gatekeepers have 6. So, triggered. Oh my god. Floyd, you're so close to the enemy. So at this point Floyd is probably shitting himself. That's probably what I'm doing as well. So we are going to be able to deal damage to the enemy, but how are we going to deal damage to the enemy is the real question. So we're going to have a look at our remote start first. I can see there's not really... Oh, I mean that one could take out the mech a little bit, so that's not a bad idea. Pointless Claymore again. We do have a blaster bomb that we could use, which probably isn't the worst idea, although we could just fire for 82%, which will shred a bunch of armor and do a lot of damage because of blue screen rounds. Also, Chen does technically have a teamwork available. Then we're going to shoot with a beam cannon, dealing 14 damage as we're shredding the final piece of armor on the sector pod. All in all, not a bad start. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get Floyd out of the way, because that is definitely something we want to do. Because if the sector pod explodes and hits Floyd, that would be very annoying. Actually, Floyd's going to get the kill on that, deservedly, I think. Doing 6 damage. Blowing up, not revealing Floyd as well. Beautiful shot over there. Definitely deserved. Not entirely sure where that slash was going. I'm going to run and gun with Fang, which means that she mustn't have run and gun last turn, actually. She just dashed. Interesting. Going to go around the side, get a nice flanking shot on the Purifier for 95% chance to hit. Shoots and absolutely destroys him. Those things explode a lot. Also getting a hair trigger, so that's nice. Shooting again, dealing another 10 damage. This time to the mech. Leaving Fuentes to just strike out with the Rend. Oh, it's the Claymore, that's what it is. I was wondering what that was. Which kills off the mech. Leaving just one enemy left, a faceless, that appears out of the body of the guy, which leaves us only with 1 dude. Oh no, 2 dudes, because... Oh yeah, so we have 2 civilians, but there were 3 civilians, so I guess that makes sense. So, free reload from Ahmed, who currently doesn't have any vision on the enemy, but she could grapple now to that position. I'm not sure whether or not that will give her actual vision on the... No, it doesn't. But she can just go into long watch.
My power has its limits.
And as the faces goes around, Ahmed does take the shot. Sadly missing, it would have been too good to be true. She had killed him. Faces, however, is going to try and go for Fang, who is untouchable because she did kill the Purifier in that turn. Untouchable is just so strong. Rangers are just stupidly strong. Like, stupidly strong. So, instead what we're going to do is we're going to do a Rend with Fuentes, which actually kills it. Oh no, it stuns it. Just fell off, just fell on the ground. That was beautiful. Parry just for the lols, and then I guess we get a pick who gets the kill. We could just get Ahmed to do it. Yeah, let's get Ahmed to do it. Pew, dead. Nice, and there we go. That's the end of that mission. A beautifully crafted mission. I think the only damage we took was from silliness, so pretty good. As we land back on the Avenger, proud to have saved the civilians from the onslaught. Only taking damage from Scorch, although none of us have actually upgraded, which is a bit of a bitch considering the amount of kills we got. But hey, rescued 7 civilians, got a bunch of wrecks and corpses and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. So we're just going to go and continue on, go on the bridge. Got a supply drop still available, it's 81 supplies, and we've got supplies there which probably give us more supplies. But yeah, it's not bad at all. got Hunter's Axe and all the other equipments that we can get from them. Just going to wait that happen. Complete the Hunter's Axe. Get some supplies. That's all good. Going to get the assorted loot. Just give us a bunch of more stuff. It could be PCSs. I think assorted loot is also things like modules. And we complete the Rescue Van der Voort mission, which is exactly what we're going to do. Got Elite Trooper and Andromedon, 8 enemies in total. We're going to be taking our... Well, we've only got access to 3 individuals who are going to do that, so we're going to have to choose them carefully. And by lord are we going to choose them carefully. We are going to be taking Fournier as our heavy, Grey as our ranger, and Mysis as our specialist. As you can see, he has the plasma bolt caster. We're going to see next time how good it is.
It sounds like they're being held in a high-security advent facility.